And we'll start the meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thanks for coming tonight. Emergency exits in this room are located at the back and to my right. If there's an emergency in the building, please don't use the elevator, use the stairs. If you need assistance, ask one of the commissioners for help. We'll start the evening off with introduction of commissioners and our council liaison all the way to my right.
Charlie Foote, Town Council Liaison. Good evening.
Christopher Morlock.
Cheryl Holbert.
Jay Hildreth.
Rick Metz.
Bob Spurl.
Eileen Chabot. Linda Comrie. Catherine Arbor.
Elizabeth Carver.
And I'm the chair, Ricardo Bazaga.
Mr. Chair, apologies. Can we ensure everyone's microphone is on and that we have proximity?
So your green light on at the bottom? Everybody's green light on? Yes?
Mine is now. It was not before.
Okay, good. You got everything though, right, Owen? Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, Chair's report. First order of business, sad but happy, Val Conley is moving to Ware. Her and her fiance bought a house in Ware. And one of the requirements to sit on this commission is you have to be a resident of town. So she was going to try to come tonight and say goodbye, but I get that she's busy. So we wish her well. And she says she might see us in the future because she may get involved in conservation in her new community. So
I hope she does. She was excellent.
yeah, Val, if you're watching, we'll miss you terribly, and good luck in your new home. And correspondence, we have a letter from Jacob and Sarah White regarding a property that was recently purchased at 1 Featherbed Lane, 59-69. It's basically just a description of what she's seen on that property over the years that she's lived there regarding wildlife and animals and stuff like that. And she wants us, she's urging us to just do our due diligence, which we don't need to be urged to do that. We do our due diligence whether we're urged to or not. But I've instructed our land manager, Beth, to just reply to that letter and tell them that we're going to do everything we can within our purview to make sure that it helps the community from a conservation perspective. We have a reported alleged violation. I'll send that to my left first. You guys can look it over. We have a reported alleged violation for a property at 54 Beaver Lake Avenue, Derry, tax map number 51, lot number 75. That's going to go to my left. A reported alleged violation for a property at 19 Whitney's Grove, tax map number 15, lot number 16-4. That'll go to my left. And a second notice for the same property. Those are all going to my left. You guys can look at them. And then send them back this way so the people on the other side of the room can. We have a report, Waste Management Division. It's a renewal for the groundwater release detention permit for B&H Oil at 36 South Main Street, Derry, received on July 13th. They're required to do this as they renew their permits. That'll go to my right. We'll go the opposite way with that one. That's all I have for correspondence. We're going to jump right into site plan review. We have the site address 38 Jackman Road, right-of-way, tax map 7, lot 77. The owner is Joe Mastriano from 3 Ball Ave in Salem. Surveyor is Laval, and engineer is Engineering Alliance. The presenters are Eric. Is Eric here?
Yes, that's me.
Okay, Eric and Joe?
That's good.
Joe? Okay, great. So they have some plans for us. We're going to look this over. If you guys could distribute that, that'd be great.
Is this on, or do I have to press a button to turn it on? I don't see it say active here.
Where is it? Okay. While you're doing that, I skipped over approval of minutes, so we're gonna take a peek at those, but go ahead and hand those. Owen gets that in the back. He's got a fob. Everyone look at the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, so we have a first by Mr. Metz, second by Cheryl. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, that's unanimous. So I have to sit someone? I think I have to sit someone, right?
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Good catch.
Yeah. Oh, there we go.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's right.
Linda, will you sit for Val tonight?
Yes, I'll be happy to.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everyone caught that. Linda's going to sit for Val for the rest of the meeting. Okay.
Okay, this thing's on, perfect.
Yeah, okay, guys, state your name for the record and run us through this plan.
You got it. Eric Bradnisi, Engineering Alliance, the professional engineer for the project.
Joseph Mastriano, owner.
Perfect. So, as you guys mentioned, the property is located at 38 Jackman Road, tax map 7, lot 77. The size of the lot's a little over 6 acres, 6.3 acres. So just to give you guys a little idea of what has gone on with this project so far. So Joe here, the owner, had received a variance for the property to build a single-family dwelling on this property. As part of that process, we were brought on, as Jackman Road is a Class 6 road, so it's owned and maintained by the property owners that are along Jackman Road, and we were brought in to bring Jackman Road up to the requirements for a Class 6 road for the town. So we prepared these plans, brought them and submitted them to the technical review committee, had a review from the technical review committee, and then it was brought to our attention that the wetland on site at the top of the plan, you can see there, is a prime wetland. And so there were some plan changes that were made. We went back for a second technical review committee meeting, and we added a bunch of information that you'll see on the following plans after the cover here. And really what the gist of this project is that there is, at the top, you can see there's a prime wetland, and then there's a secondary wetland down to like the bottom left side of the plan there as well that runs through the middle of the property. If we could move to the next sheet. Oh. Okay, I didn't realize I could do that. My apologies. So just to give you guys an idea, these are existing conditions as to what's going on out there. So if you look, true north is, straight up and down on this plan here. Jackman Road is to the right. This is the subject property. Prime wetland at the top and secondary wetland here on the side. These plans are oriented a little bit differently, just to show the Jackman Road comes along the side of the plan here. But so here's Jackman Road, and then this is Joe's property that he owns here. So that wetland at the top of the previous sheet is here, and then the secondary one you'll see on the next sheet is off the sheet here. But so we have this wetland here, 150-foot setback to the primary wetland, and then the 75-foot no-cut buffer zone is here as well. Jackman Road is currently, I guess you could say, like 8 or so feet wide gravel road that comes all the way down past the Rockingham recreational trail and then moves a little bit further past along the frontage of Joe's property. This is just a view of the full property. Again, Jackman Road here. Now this is oriented similar to the first plan. Jackman Road on this side. This gives a view of the entire property here with our prime wetland and our secondary wetland on the side here. The grading of the site, there's a high point here up along the trail, and then everything sort of pitches down to the prime wetland and then out back this way as well to that secondary wetland. So what's proposed is a single-family dwelling. There also, you guys will see on these plans, there is a secondary building proposed in these plans. That's a future ADU that is not going to be built at this time under the same permit as this building, but we showed it on here to show the site impacts that would come with that ADU further down the road. So again, Jackman Road here with our improvements to Jackman Road. This will be a 20-foot wide gravel road that'll be designed to meet the town engineered standards for a Class 6 road. It'll be 2 feet of gravel, so water can directly infiltrate in there, so it's not going to create any additional stormwater issues for Jackman Road coming down here. But you'll see we cross the recreational trail here, and the only spot that we can access the property is right along this frontage here. This is all owned by the state, the Rockingham Recreational Trail, and then this is Jackman Road. So the gravel road will come across here. The fire department requested we place a hammerhead turnaround here to allow for a fire engine to pull in, back up, and pull out. That's what this little area is down here. Then we have the driveway access up to the single-family dwelling. Again, another turnaround is required based on the zoning code for a fire apparatus here, so we've got another one there. Again, just kind of reorienting here so you can see the full extent of the site. So the driveway turns in, single family is here. As you guys will notice, the driveway access, the only place we can really provide it pulling as far away from that prime wetland as we can is within the 75 to 100 foot buffer to the prime wetland. You can see this dash line here is that 150 foot mark. And so the entirety of the property frontage on Jackman Road is within 150 feet of that wetland. That's why we have it proposed here. During the TRC meeting, we were informed that we'll have to request a special permit from the zoning board to construct the driveway there within 75 to 150 feet. And we will be doing so after this meeting. We'll be applying to get on the planning and zoning meetings in September. So again, driveway access, single-family dwelling, turnaround. Here's that secondary ADU, future proposed ADU that we mentioned. Again, will not be constructed at the same time as this dwelling. We'd file for a separate building permit for that. But this just to show, again, site impacts. We show erosion control barrier around the limit of work. And again, we're trying to stay as far away from that wetland as we can. Building is set up on the high spot, up away from the wetland, and we're outside, buildings are outside of the 150-foot buffer here. These are just roadway profiles. If you guys care for the details of that, we're trying to maintain a very similar grading scheme as to what's out in Jackman Road now. We really don't want to change much of that grade out there, keep it right about where it's at. The only spot where it will change is a little bit right here where that turnaround I told you is. There's like a drop off that drops 6 or 7 feet. We're going to pull that up, and then after the fire engine turnaround, just grade it back down to meet the existing grade in Jackman Road. This plan is just a driveway profile. Again, similar thing. We want to try to keep these grades as similar as we can. So the driveway grade will be almost identical to what's out there. There's a very minimal fill area. Basically, most of it where it comes in is where that connection to the turnaround for the fire apparatus is. And then the last plan in the set is just some construction details. It gives you a roadway cross-section of what the 20-foot roadway will look like, a cross-section of the driveway, what that's going to look like, and then our erosion control detail. So again, we're here before you guys tonight mainly for the impacts that this is going to have in the area relative to that prime wetland, because we do have some work inside that 150-foot buffer of that prime wetland. So we'd just like to get you guys' feedback on that and what we may need from you in order to proceed. Thank you.
What's the transition on the rec trail? How are you going to handle that? I'm curious.
Sorry, what was that?
What's the transition on the rec trail? How do you transition from the class? That's a Class 6 road, right?
That's correct.
So how do you transition a Class 6 road through the rec trail, and then, so you doing improvements to the rec trail too?
We are, the only improvement that we have for the rec trail that's been coordinated with DES is that they requested that we put, and let me go back, they're labeled on the plan here. They requested that we put 2 gates, one on either side of the rec trail. So right now, there's not much vehicle travel that goes on across the rec trail. It's really just, anything that's coming across the rec trail in this direction. So they requested that Joe have custom built gates to a specific spec that they gave us that he is in the process of having built, and they want them placed on either side. So it'll become these gates will have locks on them and knock boxes on them that allows police and fire to get through if necessary. But the idea here is that this will now, those gates will limit or will be like a sign for anybody using the rec trail that there is going to be vehicular traffic on this road now.
But
The
how,
actual-
how
sorry.
will hikers and bikers be able to navigate that if there's gates? Like, they should be allowed to use the trail, and how are they going to use it if there's gates?
Well, you're going to do the 54-inch
Correct, yeah.
opening.
That is
Well,
correct.
Like any other
They're
road.
required to do a 54-inch opening for the
So people
ATVs
will
to
be
get
able
through.
to get through
Yes.
safely? and-
Are you working with Mike Weeks?
I am.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. Mike Weeks approved it already, and he came out and staked it, and the
Yeah.
gates just got finished being built.
So Mike works for, I work for the state for Forest and Lands. Mike works for Parks under the Trails Bureau. So it's actually not DES, it's DNCR.
I apologize.
I just wanted to make it clear because some people will be like, what's DES got to do with it? But, and those gates,
Yeah.
if he's following our standard plan,
Yeah.
it does have a man pass
Okay, so
on
they'll
the
be able to
side.
still hike through and bike
Yeah.
through? Okay.
During the winter, the gate is put in a locked open position for the snowmobiles to go through and stuff.
Good, okay.
The main reason we ask for the gates, Mike's probably explained it to you, is people find openings on that trail and
course.
they will be driving pickups and Jeeps and everything else down there, so.
Yeah, of
Which
course.
you don't want.
They were
Yeah.
built to spec of what Mike sent me.
Yeah. And then
is
your
that-
other discussion about the road being accessible for the fire department. The fire department always has the ability to use the trail. They've got keys, they can come down in an emergency down that trail, so that's another thing to consider.
So getting back to the question that I had regarding the transition, so you have a Class 6 road, 2 feet of crushed stone or gravel. When it goes across the rec trail, does it maintain that cross section, or how do you get your new roadway across the rec trail and then have it start as a new roadway? So you're redoing the rec trail at that portion also?
That's an excellent question. My understanding is there's just going to be a little bit of regrading out there. It's not going to be the 2 feet of crushed stone through the rec trail. Because Joe's going to be responsible for maintaining this entire section of that, but the rec trail section is still under the state's ownership.
So it'll be your spec on each, and then the rec trail is usually like stone dust, so that's going to
Correct.
stay like stone dust. Got it.
So that road is going to have to be plowed in the winter, so that area where the intersection is with the rail trail won't be interfered with with plow. The grading will be compact enough.
Yes, that's correct. So if you look, I can show you guys on the grading plan. The rec trail, see these two little dash lines here? We did this very purposely. We tried to keep the grade the same, but the actual recreational trail is staying the exact same grade that it is now. So any change in grade, the little dashed line you can see underneath is the grade that's there now. The thick line on top is the proposed grade. So we're almost identical in grade, and then when we get to the recreational trail, it's spot on, right on top of where it was.
Have you guys done your perk testing for septic yet?
Yes, there was perk test done for septic. And yes, it's all set. Let me rephrase that. There was an approved septic plan that was done for this site. The septic location was previously, can you guys see this up here, the 150-foot buffer?
Yeah.
The previous septic, straddled the line on the 150 foot. So the test pit that's actually shown on here is in the correct location. We just rotated this. So there was an approved plan for the septic. We just have to get it updated to show the new location.
So when was that? So you haven't done a new one yet, that you're still working off the old one?
Yes, that's correct.
What
But
was
it's the
it?
same test pit. So the information, and
it is.
we didn't do it, the surveyor did, but I can get you guys a copy of that if you need to see it.
Got it.
And I'm assuming that the septic area has the other 2 bedrooms, the proposed 2 bedrooms?
That is
included in
correct.
that?
Yes, it's for
Okay.
6 bedrooms, not just the 4.
Okay.
And the pit tested for 6?
Yes, that is correct.
Will there be a septic as well for the ADU in that?
Yeah, it's going to share, the ADU
It's
is
going to share the
that.
same septic?
Yep.
And the shortest distance from the required 150 feet is 75 to the prime wetland? at the
Yep.
end of the driveway, 75 feet, did you say?
So the shortest distance to where the driveway comes in, is that what you said?
Yeah, the shortest in the buffer zone to the prime wetland.
Yes, so for the access driveway. So this is actually something that we wanted to ask you guys and we needed to discuss with some of the town officials. So when we had done this plan originally, we did not have this turnaround for the fire department at the end. And so everything was outside of the 75 feet. So if you look, the 75-foot buffer is this dashed line here. And you can see our proposed driveway and all that work is between 75 to 150. But when we added in the required turnaround that was requested by the fire department, there's this little small section here that's within 75 feet. You can see there's some grading and it's just the gravel turnaround for the fire department. I don't have the exact dimension, but if we pulled this, it's about 45 feet, where that section of the grading would come down after the turnaround. Now, is that something that, again, this is more of a question to the commission, is that something that is allowable, or is that something, again, because it was requested by the fire department for us to do that, is that something that's going to be a problem with the construction of the roadway there, or because again, it's all the work that's on site for the single family is all, outside of that 75 feet, but that one little section there is within it.
Any of the other commissioners have questions? Rick?
Is there a reason you can't pull that turnaround back towards the road origin, towards the trail?
So I don't have it in this set of plans, but the fire department sent me the parameters for the fire engine that needs to be able to make this turn. And if you guys look, so it comes in and this little radius here is how it needs to turn up in this direction here. In order for this thing to back up and swing out, it has to come out to this area here. If I tried to move this driveway at all, he'd basically now, all of his access would be coming from the Rockingham Rec Trail property rather than the right-of-way in Jackman Road. So we're kind of tight on this spot here. Like, I don't think we'd be able to pull that any further in.
So the end, you wouldn't be able to pull that end in to come closer to the edge of the proposed driveway?
Unfortunately,
See what I'm
no,
saying,
not for the apparatus to make the maneuver it needs to make. And I can also provide you guys with a plan that shows that. It was a request from the TRC for that as well, but we have a turning plan that shows the movement that needs to make, and that may clarify some of this.
So I would just be curious within the commission of the proposed, of the potential impact within 45 feet of prime wetland. If there's any concern about that, that just seems very close to me.
I think
prime wetland.
Does that trigger a DES permit? Do you have to get a permit from DES because you're inside the prime?
I think
we
Liz did
may.
mention that.
Yeah.
So.
And then from the commission's perspective, I'm fairly confident that that's the case. We also have the ability to comment on that permit. So we're going to get our first look here. I'm thinking
I
we're
think
going
we
to see
should do a
this.
site visit.
Yeah,
Mr. Chair.
I do too, Eileen. I'm just wondering if we should wait till they have to go to
DES.
ZBA. No, well, they have to still go to ZBA
Right.
and planning.
Okay.
They're both going to have some suggestions. I'm thinking this plan is going to change somewhat. I'm not so sure it's going to change a lot, but I have a gut feeling that it's going to change somewhat after those two boards look at it. And I think they're probably going to come back before us. We should probably look at that set of plans and then do the site walk based on that set of plans rather than this set of plans, because I think this set of plans is going to change and could change, fairly significantly after three other.
For the better or for more impact?
I just think it's going to change. Yeah, I think the lines on the plan are going to change. So I want to be looking at the lines on the plan that are going to be the permanent lines on the plan as opposed to the initial lines on the plan. That's me as a member and a suggestion. That being said, so I think you are going to go to DES. And anything else? Yeah, go ahead, Bob.
Midway down the section you're restoring, there's a 12-inch pipe going under. The contours that are on the road don't give us any indication obviously the pipe is either carrying water one side or the other. What's happening to that water afterwards? My guess would be it runs down the side of the road, or is it going to disperse out into one property or the other?
That's an excellent question. So I will pull up and show what we are talking about here. So right here at this section of the road. So we are actually currently in the process of having the surveyor go out and get a couple additional spot shots along both sides of this stone wall that's out there. Right now where this is shown, if you guys walk out there, you can see there's like a ditch on this side. When you stand out there, there's a little ditch on the side of the wall.
Okay.
Basically, we would put, the opening would be here with, we haven't determined if it's going to be a head wall or a level spreader on this side, but this would be coming in through this way and out this way. And again, same thing, level spreader or head wall on this side. It just depends on what these elevations are. We called it out to match, but again, the surveyor is currently in the process of working to get back out there. The idea here is just to make sure that that area on this side of the wall where that little ditch is not ponding on the neighbor's property here outside on Jackman Road. So the size of this pipe may change as well.
Where is there something there right now? Is there some sort of pipe there now?
There is not.
Okay.
But again, this was a request from the engineering department to assess the area and mark anywhere that a culvert may be needed. How
long is that pipe?
How long is it?
Yeah.
It's about 30 feet.
Sorry to interrupt you. We don't like 12-inch pipes.
It's going to be larger. It was requested that it's at least 15 inches from the engineering department. Once we have the survey on what these elevations are, so to answer this, it'll be at least 15 inches, if not larger.
Yeah. So I guess from my experience on the trail and being down in there, the concern would be any water coming down the road, which it already has been. You've been out there, so you've seen it runs out onto the trail and across into your property, would be the ditch line, which I don't really remember any kind of a ditch line on that side to catch the water and go in either direction. But it's just a consideration, I guess, is to be aware that it will wash coming down there. Even your plan shows it as a pretty steady slope down through there.
Yeah, so this pitch is, so again, and when we have the additional survey information, this will show, but this grade down here, everything kind of pitches.
Yep.
Like you said, down in this direction and then sort of down and away in this direction. So the idea here would be anything just to prevent any ponding from here to come across. Okay. But the one thing that, and it was part of our submission to TRC, was concern about runoff from the updated road. And so this 20-foot wide gravel road now with the 2 feet of stone is going to provide some significant volume that's not there now for water to hold. So I wouldn't have any major concerns about any water coming off the road, just because the capacity that's going to be provided here is significantly more than what's there now.
Anyone else?
Yes. Will the road be gravel?
Yes.
Okay. Another question I had was, I noted in the notes that you had the wetland boundaries flagged by a certified wetland scientist back in November of 2025, but I don't see a certified wetland scientist stamp on these plans. That should be on the plans. I also, as I shared with the chair, I would like to see a site visit done by the commission out there.
Any other commissioners have questions for this applicant? No? Do you have another trip at TRC? Are you back at TRC? Are you done at TRC?
We are done with TRC.
Sure. So you got planning and zoning?
Yes, that's correct.
So I don't think we're going to act on anything tonight. At least I don't think that there'll be a motion to act on anything tonight. A couple of things that I'd like to note, because you'll be back after you go to planning and zoning, you come back here. We have an invasive species, some language. If it hasn't been provided to you yet, we can provide it to you. So we'll make sure that you get that in your plan set. I personally would like to see that pipe much bigger. Pipes under roads are not just for water; they're for animals too, and some animals are bigger than 12 inches. So we like to make those pipes as big as they can be. Obviously, we don't need to get a car through it, but we want to be able to have it not get clogged by a basketball or something like that. So I'd like to see a bigger pipe under that road. We'd like to see a stamp from the scientists, obviously, on the plans, as Eileen mentioned. I'd like to see the perk test for the 6 bedrooms, a detail on that. Anything else that people would like to see when they're back before us?
Another question I have, on the layout of the house, and again, sort of speaking to Rick Metz, who mentioned, pulling things back a bit. One of the homes, if you were to have a different shape instead of as vertical as it is, you might be able to pull it back even more from the wetland. I don't know, is that already a preconceived plan for a home to be long like that? As vertical as it's shown on page...
this one in
Page 4 of 8?
That's, what we're in the process of now of, making plans for. You have some of the section that's going off is a attached garage on the house. That's why it's might appear a little bit longer.
On page 4 of 8? Could you look at that one?
4 of 8.
Yep, yeah, so
See
that's...
that? If that were to be changed, a bit, it could be pulled back, and then you wouldn't have that grade, the necessity for such a grade so close to the wetland.
So I just want to point out, so this house, I mean, we could pull it back a little bit further in this direction, but the issue is relative to the driveway. It's not so much the building. If you guys look, and so the property line for 38 Jackman is this black line here that comes across here, right?
Right.
And so this is the Jackman Road right-of-way where the dash line is. That's the existing gravel road. If you look, our 150-foot buffer is this dashed line here.
Right.
The entirety of this property line is within 150 feet. So what I had mentioned to you guys about the 75 feet is this particular section. We're coming into here basically as far down Jackman Road as we possibly can to turn into the site because of where the property is located.
Okay.
And so we're limited. We can't turn this driveway up and in off the recreational trail up here on this property line.
Okay.
So this location of the driveway really can't change, but what was being discussed and requested is this. So this dash line is the 75-foot buffer to the brine wetland, and what's within 75 feet is a section of the fire apparatus turnaround for the fire department. And what was questioned was, is there any way to pull this out of the 75 feet? And I can do my best to try to rerun the fire apparatus movement, although I think I've got it kind of tight to where it needs to be at the moment. But I will do my best to try to move that and see if we can get out of that 75-foot buffer.
Okay. And then maybe the house itself, though, if you could reshape that house, you could potentially reconfigure it so that you could pull it back.
Well, that's outside the 150 feet.
He said they've already...
The ADU and the house is completely outside the 150 feet.
Right, but it's still the stormwater runoff that will come off that roof is going to go down that slope, and it's going to head for the wetlands. So I'm just looking at that.
Okay. I mean, we have some room that we can slide this back this way if needed. There's a little bit more room for us to move that further away from the wetland for the building. It just unfortunately won't have any impact on where the driveway is and what's.
No, I'm not speaking about the driveway. I'm just speaking about the house. Okay.
Have you guys done as part of your your analysis, have you done that protected species analysis, or is that, do you remember if that was in your, you do like an animal species analysis of the area?
We have not.
I think it'll probably get triggered by
When they apply to DES,
yeah.
they'll have to do it.
So
yes.
DES is going to ask you to do like an inventory of protected species. Just when you come back before us, just have that for us, please.
Okay,
Because
absolutely.
that kind of determines like how big that pipe needs to be.
Okay.
We look at it kind of from two perspectives: as a wildlife corridor, and then as a safety thing for well, more like a wildlife corridor, and then to make sure that the drainage works. Anything else from us? And Eileen, I think we'll be visiting this property after we see the kind of the second version. Guys, you're probably, I'm going to say, just to give you guys an idea of what's going to happen at this board, right? So you can plan accordingly. You're going to go to the other two boards. There'll probably be some changes. You'll come back to us. When you come back to us, we're going to want to do a site walk. And then after that site walk, you'll come back to us one more time, and then we can usually button it up at that third meeting based on what you presented, things that we see at the site walk that we may want to add. And then that last meeting, that third meeting, as long as everything goes the way it should, we can usually button it up then with all of our kind of concerns or suggestions, whatever it may be. So just so you can, in your planning, I know you're gonna plan this thing out. So just so you know what's down the street for us. So do planning and zoning, come back to us, show us that revised plan. We're gonna meet you at the site, walk the site, and then at that next meeting, we should be able to button it all up.
Okay.
Okay. Does that sound good, commissioners? Does that all sound right? Yep. Sound good, everybody? All right, anything else from you guys?
Nope, I think that's it.
All right, good. Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good. All right, next piece of business we have, give me 1 second. Okay, next thing we have is public use of the Corneliuson, Martin, Ferdinando, and Ball properties. And we have representatives from the Ferdinando family here. They're going to talk to us about some concerns they may have regarding the property. And welcome. Just state your name and address for the record before you start talking, please. Thank you.
Andrew Chisholm, Hampstead, New Hampshire.
I'm Melissa Ferdinando, Derry, New Hampshire.
Good to see you guys.
Thanks for having us, commissioners. I have material here. If you'd like to take a look at it, I can pass this along. This is the FDA FSMA program, which FSMA is the Food Safety Modernization Act, which was enforced in 2023.
So before you start, so just to give you a little background, Melissa and Andrew sent the communication to the commission regarding some concerns they have about the type of use that's happening on the properties that they own, that we have easements on, that other people have easements on, but we'll call it a collection of properties that we're stakeholders of them. We'll call it that, right? Sort of stakeholders.
Yeah.
The document he sent out, I think, has to do specifically about dog waste and how dog waste affects vegetables and stuff like that, and how that can really affect their business. And obviously, we know the Ferdinando people and that farm project is a very, very big part of our community, so we want to accommodate them every way that we can. So that's what that book is. I expect you to read it all tonight, cover to cover, and report back. So that's what that was the catalyst to this discussion. So we want to get this stuff resolved so we can they can do what they do and we do what we do. So go ahead, take it away, Andrew.
Correct. Yeah. So I'll kind of give you a little history of where we are with FSMA. And again, FSMA, Food Safety Modernization Act, came out in 2020, but due to the COVID pandemic, it was not enforced until 2023. So 2023 was the first year of enforcement with FSMA. FSMA is put up by the FDA and the USDA and the Commissioner of Agriculture here in New Hampshire, Commissioner Jasper. It's required now compliance under for farms of a certain size. JNF falls into the size that is required to be in compliance with FSMA. Inspectors come out, take a look at the property, and make sure that we're in compliance with it. That manual that you're looking at there is just kind of the guidelines that we have to follow through on that. Within that manual that you have in your hands there is the restriction for public access to the food supply. And as you know, there's a big topic within the country right now about food safety and foodborne pathogens that can get into the food supply. This is in regards to trying to mitigate that. Things specifically to the property that we're talking about now is walking trails that are published in the kiosks at the end of English Range and Happy Lane. Holiday Ave. There's a kiosk that publishes a public walking trail that goes directly through the corn fields, the pumpkin fields, over at the Pingree Hill property that we also own. It goes around the corn silage that's a supply for the beef cattle that are over there. It goes through the hay silo. It goes through an electric fence. Those are all the published trails that are out there right now. To remain in compliance with FSMA, we cannot allow the public to walk through those fields, and we cannot allow dogs to go free through those fields as well. We can't enforce that from the farm, that somebody would be walking through those fields, several acres away. The other issue with it too, FSMA requires we have to publish that the corn and all the crops and whatnot are employee-only access in there. Our employees that pick through there have to go through certain guidelines. They can't wear jewelry, watches, things like that. They have to wash their hands, and if we do find animal feces, we have to rope off a certain area, and we can't pick in that area. If there's standing water, we can't pick in standing water areas. So there's a lot now that comes out into these FSMA regulations that the published trails that are up at the kiosks directly violate all that right now. That's where we are with in regard to FSMA. And again, if this was 3 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But because these rules came out and they were all enforced starting in 2023, this is now a pretty hot topic.
Right.
Yeah, so if they were to come out and somebody's out there that's not a worker, that hasn't been through the program and has a dog,
right,
we will get fined and possibly shut down on that whole field.
Gotcha.
So we weren't aware that there was, and again, I mean, my dad just passed away, so this is all new stuff that we've been having to deal with. And we weren't aware that there was walking trails through any of those fields for the public. So that brings up a big issue for us.
Right. So and we're sorry for your loss about your dad.
Yeah, very sorry.
He's a great guy.
He was wonderful.
So we want to work with the Ferdinando family and get this resolved. So Beth and I have been talking about this quite a bit lately before you folks came. Obviously, this is probably not a problem just with the Ferdinando property. I'm sure it's becoming a statewide problem because a lot of farms have walking trails through them, and everyone's addressing it at the same time. We probably should hand this off to a subcommittee.
Right.
But I think we might do this a little differently if I can indulge the commissioners, because I want to. This has to be fast tracked. This can't be like a 6-month long process. We want to get this thing done now.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
FSMA shows up next week. We don't want problems for the Ferdinando farm property. So I would, I think we should consider we hand this off to a subcommittee and have that subcommittee make binding recommendations to the process rather than, because of our meeting schedule. How do people feel about that?
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, okay, so.
And I think we could find, sort of a middle road where you can comply with the regulations, but also the public would have a revised trail network away from the fields. Because that needs to happen because we purchased, that conservation easement with public funds. So we need to have a revised trail network that would not impact your fields and your food operations.
Yep, yeah, we aren't against working and letting people go where they can go. We just can't have them in where they can.
Right, obviously, yes.
Where they can cause us trouble.
Correct,
so.
yes.
And where Derry has no dog leash law, whenever we see people with dogs up there, they're never on a leash.
Of course.
Right.
So if they...
And then people don't bring dog waste bags, which they should always carry
exactly.
with them.
So God forbid there's a person up there walking with a loose dog and we have an inspector go up there.
Right.
We're in a lot of trouble.
Right.
Yeah,
so we don't want that.
Yeah, and Beth has already reached out to other stakeholders in this process, SALT and the people that hold the easements there. I'm going to let you chime in 1 second, Beth. And as I kind of think this through, does the commission think we should just form a new ad hoc committee right now to address this and get it done, and give that committee the authorization to make the necessary changes?
Draft to the necessary changes.
For discussion.
Because they would need to be reviewed by council, both sides. Because you're going to be ultimately, I'm going to guess we'll be ultimately amending the easement language. Sorry to complicate it.
No, so that's precisely what I don't want to do.
Yeah.
But I think we have the authority to not make permanent changes, but to make emergency changes right now. Okay.
That would be my guess.
Yeah, so just to address the existing problem that we have, right? We're going to have to backfill. Us and everybody else that's having this discussion in the state are going to have to backfill the permanent solution, but to get to an immediate solution, I think we should have. We can call it temporary, or we can call it whatever we need to call it. But I want to do something. I want to act now to prevent some problems. So how do people feel about that?
Yeah.
People feel pretty good about that? Okay. So I volunteer to chair that committee. I'd like to have Beth join me in that committee. Who else is interested in being involved in that committee?
I would.
Eileen?
I would be interested in.
And how many can we have, Beth? 3?
3.
Up to 3, yes.
All right, so it's going to be myself, Eileen, Bob, and Beth. And Beth, you don't count because you're not a sitting. So the 4 of us are very quickly going to come up with at least a temporary solution. And what it will probably be is a sign at the kiosk saying that, walking within the fields or within a certain distance of the fields, right? Like we have to probably have like a 50-foot setback or something like that.
Manual there's some
there's setbacks.
There's setbacks, and there's
I'm
also
not going to read it. Tell me what it is. Is it 50 feet? Is it like 50 feet?
Off the top of my head, I don't remember if it's 50 or 75 feet on there.
So whatever it's in there, we're gonna adopt that.
And then in the back of that, there's some FSMA put out signage that has to go up around the farm, around fields that are within walking distance of the farm stand. But that would also apply in this case as well to the published walking trails.
Yeah, and we could put up like the signs that we're required to have down by the farm says like no dogs, no authorized, like if you're not an employee you can't come in here. Like we could also put some signs up so people kind of know where it is. We never did before because it wasn't an issue up there, because normally it's not a place the public goes unless they're like out picking making something they're authorized to do.
So you're saying that FSMA has the regulations right in that book?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
So maybe we can make this easier than I thought. So why don't we consider right now having a vote saying that we're going to adopt the best practices in the FSMA regulation book. And Beth, you can help me with which properties are the ones we have. You can help me with that, right? The properties that we have. So how do people feel about that? Do you want to adopt the FSMA regulations in relation to this property? Excuse me 1 second, just 1 second. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I can, while you're doing that, if I can put in my 2 cents that would, the Commissioner of Agriculture here, Commissioner Jasper, would be happy with that. That, I think, would check off all the boxes, just adopting the FSMA regulations.
Are the 4 properties listed on our agenda, are those the only properties affected? You mentioned Pingree Hill, is that?
Yeah, the old Auburn Road that has the walking trail going through like the feed and the silo and then through our electric fence. So the electric fence obviously would be a safety thing for somebody going through there, but the other area is where we have corn planted and then where the cow's feed is. There's a walking trail through that, and then it's the properties off English Range Road.
English Range.
Is that in here?
So I got a question.
Yep, Bob.
Is that book yours and you're sharing it with us?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Chairman, I'd recommend that we get a copy
Yeah.
for the town's use.
Okay.
Yeah, we can get you a copy of that.
Yeah.
I also will,
Because there's a lot
Bob, I'll-
here, we can't just look through this, browse through it. and
Yeah,
have
it's
it in
a
our
lot.
head.
I use that as an example so you can see how extensive these
Yeah,
FSMA
it is,
regulations
yeah.
are.
But we need to know what's
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah.
I'm sure you're sharing it with us, but it,
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, we're pretty
lot
well
to
up to speed on
digest.
it.
Yeah, it
but
is, it's a thick book.
Yeah.
All right, so after talking to our council liaison, we're going to pivot back to the ad hoc committee, because we probably are going to need approval from, well, we may or may not need approval from someone else. And that if we just have that ad hoc committee have the authority to do it, we don't have to wait for another meeting to vote it through. So let's go back to that. Let's go back to the ad hoc committee.
Yep.
That's going to work with the property owner to satisfy the FSMA regulations. So I think the motion should be that we authorize we're going to call it an emergency committee to establish guidelines on which property, Beth?
Yeah, so it's the Ferdinando property, the Corneliuson farm property, and the Martin farm property.
So the Ferdinando property, the Corneliuson property, and the Martin farm property.
Do we include the Ball
there's
Farm too?
and Ball Farm also is there, and oh yes, you have active crop fields there as well. Yeah, so the Ball property as
We
well.
include the Pingree too, since they mentioned that?
That's the Martin farm. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Martin.
which
No, Martin
field
Farm is different, I think, than Pingree, isn't it?
is the ball? Oh, it's the field. You get to the top of the hill and it's that slope that's facing north,
You got all
whatever.
those.
It's cornfield.
Yes.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, from your knowledge of what that says, after the fields have been harvested, can public go on them at that point?
Then we get into cover crop, and a lot of times cover crop is used as feed for the
Yep.
beef and dairy cows also. So you get into kind of a very small window into when they can. It says, FSMA says that during harvest season of the crops and growing season, so that would be, you know, we're right in the middle of harvest season right now, but you get into cover crop season as well, and there's rye up there, and there's a lot of times there'll be different cover crops that's turned into hay silage.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious.
You think you got it?
I think so.
Okay. Commissioners, everybody on board with this? We're going to establish a ad hoc committee to work with the Ferdinando Farm project and establish some guidelines on public use on those properties. And that committee is going to have authority to make those changes, and then we'll work towards a longer term. That sound good? Yeah? Okay. All right. Mr. Metz, take it away.
Wait, I'm ready.
Okay.
Tammy, you'll never be able to read this, so. Move to establish an emergency ad hoc committee to prepare guidelines for the Ferdinando, Corneliuson, Martin, and Ball properties using the FSMA regulations to form guidelines for public access to the aforementioned properties.
There's a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
It's second by Cheryl. I'm going to ask for a roll call on this, starting to my right.
Yes.
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 Yes. Yes.
Chair votes yes. Okay. That committee, let's do one more motion on the people on that committee. Mr. Foote, will you join us in that committee?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So motion to have the committee be as such. It'll be chaired by Ricardo, the chairman. Members will be Eileen and Bob. And liaisons will be Beth and Charlie. Can I get a motion to that?
So moved.
We have a first. Is there a second?
Second.
First by Mr. Metz, second by Cheryl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Great. All right, so we'll get it solved. Give us a little window to get it done. We just have to check with the powers that be on the town side to see how much authority we have. But I'm assuming that we have all the authority we need. Okay?
Okay. Yep, great.
Thank you.
So Beth, Beth's going to be your point of contact. Okay, so work with her, okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you.
Give him his book back.
You don't want to keep it.
Unless you have another one. Do you have another one?
What book?
No.
We can get
Yeah,
it.
He just said at the training meeting we had to
See if
go
you
to,
get,
but-
or see if we can get one,
I
Beth.
actually do have my dad's
Are we
book,
giving
if
this
I can
back to
find
you,
it.
or are
Yeah,
you?
we can
So I could get that and get it to you.
give you Phil's copy. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming.
So the scope of that is
Yeah.
implementing like another phase.
Thank you both.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's like anything, Jay.
All right, 5 minutes of 8. I want everybody to note the time, because we still have a lot of stuff to cover. Is this gentleman, sir, are you here to speak on anything, or are you just observing?
I came here to actually speak today.
Okay. Wait, before you do, why don't you stay over there for a minute?
I actually want to ask a couple of questions that day. Who's in charge of erosion control?
Okay, we need to have a vote to open a public hearing, so we need a motion for that.
Move to open the public hearing?
Is there a second? Who's the second, Eileen?
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Metz, second by Eileen. We're going to open a public hearing for, how many minutes, Mr. Metz?
Max of 15.
Okay, all right, so we're going to open a public hearing for 15 minutes. We have a constituent that'd like to address the commission. Come on up, sir, state your name for the record and your address, please.
Can you hear me all right?
We can, yeah.
My name is Greg Boyko, B-O-I-K-O. I live at 10 Jewel Lane, Derry, New Hampshire. I've been a resident of Derry for, I think, 43 years, if my math is correct, maybe a little longer. I'm concerned right now about a couple of things. I actually spent the day on the town forest today, because my property abuts the town forest. And I'm basically concerned about the building activity at the address called 12 Jewel Lane. I've actually been to DES once. They said they had nothing on that. And actually talked to the town council, the administrator, and he got in touch with code enforcement, and they came down and they assured me that they are on top of it, and they have also talked to DES. I don't want to take a lot of your time. I'm not prepared. This makes me nervous. Don't get me wrong. My son is going to kill me because I'm going to have a heart attack because my blood pressure is going to go through the roof.
Well, relax. You don't have to be nervous here. We're all friendly. So
I know
tell us what's up.
When code enforcement people came out there, they made me feel very, very assured. They said that DES was involved and they're going to look into it. What I'm concerned about right now is, because I don't know the answers to these things, is who's in charge of soil erosion? Who monitors that?
Is it during building? Are they building something there?
They have filled, which I have files here. I don't want to swear, but they have filled. Well, they told me that they took out 200 loads of fill and dirt from the Exit 4A project, which is all like stone and boulders and dirt.
So they building a house there? Is that?
Yes, they started to build the house.
Well, yeah, so that would be code enforcement. They're the people.
Right, but they can't. But I actually got in touch with DES, and I figured I would just want to have an email address so I can email the whole board for exactly the same files that I sent them.
Okay, so you can do that. You can do that.
Yeah.
The email would come to me, and then I would disseminate it to the commissioners. We can't have emails to a lot of different people at once because it becomes a public meeting.
Yeah.
So you can send it to me, and you can get my email right
All
off.
I need is that address.
Yeah, you can get it right off the town website. It's a link.
Okay.
You can just hit the link, and it'll automatically send it to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, if there's a wetlands permit, which there should be, I remember us going out there, and there was going to be some filling of a stream.
Yeah.
Since there's a wetlands permit, the DES would also have control over soil erosion.
What I'm finding is a lot of confusion. The town wanted him to build the house someplace else, but he decided on a different place. I know, I actually came to this meeting before and spoke because they wanted to change the pedestrian easement.
Right. I remember that very well.
Yes.
Yep.
And I came and spoke in favor of that. And I wasn't in favor of having the pedestrian easement, but I'm having a large change of heart after witnessing what's like right out my door. I don't have to go outside. I can just look out my window.
Wow.
And I'm going to have to contact an attorney, which I plan on going to see one anyway. Because, like I said, I've actually been to court on this property before, where some people, I thought they were dumping tire rims, but it turns out the people had stolen the welding tanks from Wyndham Welding Supply. And the kids stole the welding tanks because they wanted the nitrous oxide. Now I was a witness for the town prosecutor subpoenaed me to come to court for that. So I know that property intimately.
Oh, you have my email address. You can send me that email.
Yeah, that's all I want to do. That's all I
send me
want
that
to do.
email, and if and I'll send it to the appropriate people on our side.
That's all I really want.
I appreciate you coming. Thanks for coming out and speaking.
Thank you very much.
You can come here. You don't have to be nervous to come here. We're easy to talk to.
I'm sorry. I'm almost 70 years old.
You have to be sorry about that.
Don't be nice. Don't be sorry. Please don't be sorry.
We're all working on that.
All right. Thank you for coming.
I'm
Thank
just
you.
nervous.
Yeah.
Sure.
Will you send me that email and I'll make sure that I look it over?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, so we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing?
Is there a
Second.
First by Mr. Metz, second by Eileen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Public hearing is closed. Next order of business is committee and liaison reports. Up to 5 minutes. Please go to the 5 minutes because, again, it's 8:05. We are going to have a non-public tonight. The Red Sox are on. I want to at least see the ninth inning. So community gardens, Jay, go ahead.
Okay. Harvesting is in full swing. Anyone who wants some tomatoes, help themselves. And we are planning a harvest event. We're going to have a meeting at the end of this meeting with our subcommittee. Briefly, I drafted a proposed scheme for the event, which will include the friends and family of the gardeners who have plots there, and we're going to celebrate the harvest and discuss the season and just share our time and talk about a few business items and proposals for the garden that we might want to implement and get the feedback from our gardeners. So that's the latest event. Meanwhile, we're just in full swing. The gardens are amazing. The corn is growing 10, 11, 12 feet high, and sunflowers are folding over. They're so huge. And it's a great season. It's been a good season for the weather. And we're grateful for those amendments that were put in. And we're enjoying it. That's all.
Any questions for Jay? Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
I'll wait.
I'm back. All right, next report is Mr. Metz. Personnel.
Chairman Bazenga and I haven't seen much of each other in the last couple months, but
I miss you terribly.
we need to get together to do Beth's annual and Tammy's first review.
Yeah. Okay.
Her one and only review.
Yeah. How about
we'll get that soon.
How about October for those?
We can do that.
Okay. October. Okay, let's schedule it for October. What else you got, Rick?
TRC, the latest TRC came before us tonight. We do have one on Friday, which is a redo of a property I believe we looked at about a year ago, 3 Poor Farm Road. So, Beth, did I send that to you?
You did, yep.
Okay.
I think I have
So,
my calendar.
it's 8 o'clock Friday morning, so I'll have information on that when we get back.
All right, Cheryl, public outreach.
So we had a tent at the farmers market last Wednesday, and that actually went really, really well. And I really want to thank Beth. I was in between Beth and Linda, and my son was selling bread over there. So it was a really fun day. We got a good number of names to add to our email list. It was probably about half a dozen, right, Beth, or so? Would you say about half a dozen? But they were genuinely interested. It was a good half dozen that seemed genuinely interested in doing trail maintenance. A couple of the people were new to the community, and they really had the motive of saying, I want to get to know people in the community and I care about this, so those two things go together. So that's kind of a nice little hint for us in the future for outreach, people that are coming to the community and this is an interest of theirs. So you kind of have both things happening there. A lot of good stories from people, and I think we were following up on, expressing that to them that we have a trail cleanup coming in the fall. Like we had to cancel the one because of the storm, so that was coming. So, I think in that way it was really successful, and it was a good idea to be there. And looking forward to seeing maybe some of those people at some events or some trail cleanup.
Thank you, Cheryl. Eileen, state compliance?
Okay.
Did we rename that committee?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
we did.
it
Change
did.
that.
What's it called now?
The Environmental Policy and Training Committee.
Yeah, that sounds better.
Okay, I have a few things. One is, I don't know if everyone saw the NHACC newsletter for this month, but one of the hot topics on there was, what is Conservation Commission's role in land management? It said RSA 36A4 specifies any interest in land acquired in the name of the municipality by the Conservation Commission be, quote, managed and controlled, end quote, by the commission. When a commission has responsibility for a parcel, a concrete individually designed management plan or stewardship plan is recommended to ensure protection of its unique natural areas. The reason I mention that is it kind of spurred my interest because we've started certainly on having an NRI at Broadview with our BioBlitz. We should do more of that for our other properties. We should be engaged in trying to get some natural resource inventories and some, and we have, for other properties, we've done forestry management plans as well for like the Doolittle property and I think one other that we did some forestry on.
Yeah, the one, Caris. It
Over
used
the
to be called
years.
Caris, but it's called something else now, I think.
Yeah, so we should start getting engaged in doing some of those plans.
And the CWPP is a huge version of that.
That's also, yeah,
of that
that's
plan.
also an excellent start. Yep. Also, very important is upcoming, we have the annual meeting of the NHACC on Saturday, November 7th, 2026, at Pembroke Academy. And I mentioned this for the entire commission, but especially for new commissioners. It's very, very important. They have special sessions just for new commissioners, and you really ought to step aboard and get registered for this. The town does pay for us to attend, so please consider attending. They're going to be presenting 24 program sessions this year on a variety of topics, and the keynote speaker is Anthea LaValle and Lindsay Roostat from the Hubbard Brook Ecosystem Study, which is an important New Hampshire initiative that we can learn from.
What was the date of that again, Eileen?
What?
November 7th.
What's that date again?
The what?
The date.
Oh, the date is Saturday, November 7th, 2026. It will be an all-day thing from like 8 o'clock to about 4, and then we'll have lunch. And you'll be able to enroll in 3 different courses during the day, okay? And they may, I'm not sure, last year they included some field trips. I don't know if they'll be doing that again. It was pretty successful last year, so they may include some field trips, I'm not sure. But please consider putting that in your calendar and registering for that. Also of note was for the DES, as of July 1st, wetlands permit application fees increased from $400 to $600 as a result of the passage of the 26-27 state budget. Also, DES is launching a modern online portal that's going to eventually take the place of One Stop. It's going to be called the New Hampshire Enviro, and it will still have one-stop data and information that will over time replace One Stop, and also New Hampshire Online Forms websites. And the first module that will be in the new system will be the DES's AOT Bureau, the alteration of terrain permits will be the first to be placed into the new system. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Eileen. Property management, Beth and I continue to check boxes. I have to really thank DPW and kind of our renewed relationship with them. They've become very responsive to things that we need. So I'm sure Beth will cover some of that stuff in her report. But yeah, we're continuing to check boxes when people, on our properties, when there's things that need to be done, and a lot of the time we're getting them done for little or no cost because of the DPW. So that's nice. That's a nice change that we didn't have years ago. That's all I have. And Bob, you're up with land maintenance.
Yep. We were rained out for fall. But we put one of the other days to good use, sat the other night and discussed what we thought should be on the kiosks. First one being Corneliuson, but obviously that's going to change dramatically now, so that's it.
Thank you, Bob. Reporting compliance and net zero task force are both Val, who's gone. Catherine, our newest member, has agreed to jump into those roles. Catherine, I'm gonna ask. Actually, Beth, can you ask Val if she's willing to have some communication with Catherine on the reporting compliance and net zero task force, so they can kind of collaborate on that? That sound good? Yeah. That way you get it right from Val. Val is a really active commissioner. She'll be missed, but I'm happy that she's buying a house. Yeah. Sound good? Yeah.
I've been communicating with Val about the guidebook.
Oh, good. Awesome.
And I'm willing to take that on as well.
Yeah. Good. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Wow.
And we have Mr. Foote, the council liaison report.
Thank you, Chair. I will yield. It's been a quiet summer. We're getting back into business September 1st.
All right. Good. Good. Thank you. Land manager report, Beth. You haven't done anything in the past month, right? Nothing?
Yeah, so just some upcoming dates. So the CWPP is going to be presented at a public hearing at the town council meeting on September 15th. So that's pretty exciting. That's been a long time coming. The Parkland Medical Center reached out, and they have a group of volunteers who want to help us pull some bittersweet at Broadview. And we have a proposed dates for those of Thursday, September 17th, from 3 to 6 p.m. and a rain date of the following Tuesday, September 22nd. And then we also had another group, Aurora Weatherby, who has been here to speak before, reached out on behalf of the Southern New Hampshire chapter of the Democratic Socialists of America, saying that they have a group of people also who would like to volunteer and do some trail cleanups. So we're going to have them, we're going to let everybody on our email list and those groups know when we have this event, now that we have the date finalized of September 17th. We also, that next day, on Friday, September 18th, Matt Tarr with the UNH Extension is going to lead a tour of Broadview. So we'll be very active on Broadview that week. He has been to Broadview and given us some guidance before, and so he'll be able to come give a tour of the property. And we're still trying to work out a rain date for that as well. As Bob mentioned, the trail work at the Ball property was canceled due to thunderstorms, but that was kind of a blessing because now we're going to figure out, how the trails need to, what those need to look like in regard to these FSMA rules. And then I wanted to mention to commissioners who had some concerns about the DES notifications and not seeing them very often between meetings since we're going long. So I did reach out to DES, and they said that the 20 days mentioned in the notices is intended for the recipient, not for commissioners. So you commissioners have as long as you need. She said there's no time limit for commissioners to give comment on those. And that also, if you want to view any of those, the notifications, as Eileen mentioned, I didn't realize that One Stop was being replaced, but I can send you the link for, it's just des.nh.gov and then One Stop navigation. And there's a PDF there that'll show you how to find what you're looking for. So if you're ever looking for those notifications. And then, as Rick mentioned, there was a tree that was blocking the trail at Broadview that was taken care of by DPW, and I followed up with Clint Havens about that, and he said that they were able to use it as a training opportunity for some newer employees who don't have as much experience with a chainsaw, so that was a great win-win. I just spoke with him today about, he was asking, didn't you have some work that we needed to do at the Ball property? So they're waiting in the wings, ready to help us. Okay. So we had a request from the Maine Botanical Gardens to collect seed of four-leaved milkweed at one of our conservation properties. I will not name the conservation property in public just because this is like a rare and endangered species, so we want to kind of protect it. And I'll be having a conversation with the women who are in charge of that project to work out how we can share about this on our social media and actually publicize this great thing without compromising the safety of the plant there.
Beth, there's more to that.
There is, yes.
They're gonna tell about how they put it in the seed bank and all that stuff. I think that's
so
kinda cool.
I have a letter here from them, which is, I can read the whole thing, I suppose.
The cool part was that they catalog it and they put it in like the National Seed Bank and stuff
so
like that.
It says, if permission were granted, seed would be grown in our propagation facility and plants would be added to our Slippiest conservation collection. The living collection will conserve and showcase the beauty of the diversity of milkweeds. And it will serve as an ex situ conservation planting. So that's like when they take it away from the place where it's naturally growing and just kind of like conserve it and, in like a botanical garden the way they're doing. So they're going to collect seed and propagate it and help further the species.
And then they supply us with the report of the process and stuff like that, right? Is that at the end of the letter?
That is, yes, we would be sure to follow up with an annual report to document what plant material was collected and any additional information you would like. So that part of that, any additional information you would like is part of what we'll be discussing this coming Thursday.
Yeah, and we'll put that information in with that property, so we'll have it kind of in perpetuity, which is kind of cool. I like that.
Yep. Okay, so we have a request from a resident who wants to do a metal detecting at Broadview, and I reached out to Councilor Foote, who reached out to Mike Fowler to ask, what are there rules around this, and can we make some rules around this? So per the town administrator, the town does not have a formal policy on metal detecting on town property, and DCC has every right to create a policy about that if they would like to.
So my concern about this is when it came in, I originally thought that this is just a person that's going to do some metal detecting. We want to make sure he's not going to dig a big hole and return. One of the things that I thought of was first is he finds something of value, either historic or monetary, who does it belong to? And then as I thought more about it, there's probably some eyes on this. So when we tell this person what he can and can't do at our properties, I'm guessing he belongs to some association of other people that do metal detecting, and that information will get shared. And so as a catalyst, I think we should probably develop a policy. And I thought that Bob probably knows that maybe the state already has a policy or something like that on metal detecting on state lands. So I asked Beth to reach out to Bob, and we should adopt, this is an opportunity for us to adopt some regulations around this. I think metal detecting is becoming more and more popular. We don't want people digging giant holes on our properties. So there's what's it called? The custody rule of what's found on the property.
Oh, yeah.
There's probably some sort of, there's got to be some language. So I don't want to get into it tonight at this meeting, but I've asked Beth to talk to you and find out what what the state's doing, and then we'll bring that up at the next meeting. I think to reply to this gentleman, Beth, maybe we can say we're in the process of adopting some rules on what's allowed, and as soon as we've adopted those rules, we will give them to you and something like that. Sound good? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
And then, let's see, we do have, so I met with the stakeholders involved in the Ashley Drive easement, and we discussed and agreed upon some language for the conservation easement which does not have public access, if you remember, there, or it has public access with permission of the Conservation Commission only, so there's that provision in there. But we wanted to make sure that it was clearly posted so that people know, what they are and are not allowed to do. So the language for the sign that we came up with that you can all, discuss is restricted conservation area, and then a new line, no public access, new line, contact Derry Conservation Commission, new line, and then the town phone number.
So I didn't love that sign that they came up with, so I had a suggestion that I'd like to share with you guys. So where it says no public access, I wanted it to change it to no public access without authorization, and then under that, Derry Conservation Commission and the number. How's that sound to people?
Yeah.
So the way it would work is we would vote on that tonight, send it back to the stakeholders, and they're either going to accept it or not accept it. I think they probably will.
I thought they didn't want public access. That's what I took away from that meeting we had with them.
Yeah, they don't, but we got a carve out.
Did we?
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we got a carve out that with authorization that we would have access.
Yeah.
You remember that? That was
Yes.
kind of late in the game.
I didn't remember that.
The last
Yeah.
Yeah, it was on the last thing, and it was sticky. They didn't want to grant it, but I think, but I think we wanted it, so we got
We
it.
did.
Yeah, so I think we should. It's still going to say no public access without authorization. So people walk up to the sign, they know they can't just walk in without calling first, and we did reserve it more for like educational purposes and stuff like that. So no one's going to. No one's going to be playing paintball back there, but
But it doesn't preclude that possibility if that comes up.
It doesn't, but
That leaves that open.
But we have to authorize it.
Right.
Yes.
But it will allow perhaps more.
If we want to authorize it.
Public access than just Fish and Game and the DES, which were the only other entities that were allowed on the property.
So this is what I envision. I envision UNH comes to us and says, hey, we want to do a wildlife study on that conservation property. In the present form, it would be excluded.
Right.
Exactly.
That's what I was kind of against.
Right.
Yes.
It was so restrictive. that we
And
weren't
the way
able-
that we got it set up, we can then authorize that. And that happens. We do the fur bearing studies. We do studies like
Yeah,
that.
the photography with the cameras. Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'd like to have a vote tonight that we send back their recommendation with our added language of quotes without authorization and see how that flies with the other stakeholders. So I'll take a motion on that. If everyone likes that, I'd like to hear that motion.
Move to approve the signage changes for Ashley Drive.
Second.
All right, so we have a first and a second to add without authorization. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So that motion carries. So Beth, you can communicate that back to the stakeholders.
Great.
Thank you.
All right, so the Land and Water Conservation Fund did a visit at the 4 properties that they hold an interest in Derry. So that is Cole Marsh, Corneliuson, Weber Forest, and Doolittle. And they said, generally, we're doing a great job. So that was good. And there were just a couple of things like some potential yard waste at Doolittle, and the trail goes through like the abutter's property at Doolittle rather than like straight down on just the town property. So that's something that we'll have to address. And there was some evidence of recent ATV use at Weber Forest. And then the posted signs that were at Corneliuson, which have been taken down. But that was also an issue. But all in all, good job from them. And let's see. The Cub Scouts who had reached out about using the campsite at Broadview, they did a cleanup there. They cleaned out some of the like metal and things from the flags that was in the fire pit from when they burned the flags there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And I did reach out to, so Parks and Rec has discontinued mowing the center path at Broadview based on your vote at the last meeting. And we have one vote and then potentially a discussion. So the covenant at Broadview, I had emailed that to everybody. And if you had a chance to review it, I'm not sure if tonight is the right night to discuss that, but that's just still on our docket as far as discussing the Broadview covenant. And then you all need to vote to accept a check from the NHACC, which was reimbursement for some expenses at the BioBlitz.
We have that. We're going to put that up on other business.
Oh, okay.
Once you're done. Yep.
Okay, great. I'm done. Those were my last two things.
Do you think we're ready to adopt that easement? Did everyone get a chance to read the easement? Yes? Do we have enough people to, is everyone that did read it, did they like it? Not enough? You want to have a homework assignment, and we'll bring it up at the next meeting?
Yeah, I think
All right, homework assignment, read the easement, we're going to bring it up at the next meeting. Thank you, Beth, for the land manager report. Administrative business, we have a vacancy for a full member, and Linda has shown interest to go from being an alternate to being a full member. So, Mr. Foote, can you bring that forward at the council? What do you need from us in order to move Linda from being an alternate to being a full?
She has to put an application in with Sheila.
Okay.
And then it'll come before our next council meeting, which if you get it in this week, it'll be September 1st.
Okay.
And then we can vote on it then.
All right, so Linda, you can do that right online.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it online, and then, yeah, you know that we're on board with that, so.
Yep.
Sheila will ask me anyways, but.
Yeah, so, yeah, she'll reach out to you for your.
Okay, so Linda, you know what to do with that?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and that opens up a seat for an alternate for us again, so we have a vacancy. So any commissioner here that has someone that thinks they would be a good fit in our commission, please let them know that we have a seat open, which is a cherished seat in this town.
We actually already had someone reach
that's
out
right.
asking if she could apply to be, and I said, I had to say, that we were full, so
Right, you wanna reach
I do
back
plan
out?
on reaching back out
All
to
right,
her,
so
yeah.
we'll reach out. We have a wait list.
I was gonna say, this is actually one of the better times for this committee. Being full and people.
Yeah, we had to get chairs.
door to get in.
Beth and I had to get chairs early. I don't ever remember having to get chairs. Yeah. So we'll go to our wait list, Charlie, and that's because we're busy. We are busy.
Good stuff.
Okay, so we're gonna move Linda up. We have a vacancy. Next meeting is September 21st because the regular Monday is Labor Day, so we're not meeting on Labor Day. We have proposed meetings on 10/5 and 10/19. Neither of those conflict with what's the October holiday?
Columbus Day.
Day.
So next week.
12th, 11th, 12th. Specific.
So we're okay with those two? Yes? Yeah? Okay. All right, so everybody get those on their calendar because we're going to start getting busy again.
Columbus Day is the 12th, Monday the 12th.
Okay, good. So we have one before and after. I didn't report out on land acquisition. We are going to have a non-public, but the one thing that we are working on land acquisition is Beth and I have a first draft on a letter that we're going to be sending to landowners soliciting property. So that's going to be kind of our winter project. We're going to be sending solicitation letters to larger parcels in town explaining the benefits of land conservation. And we have a first draft on that now. We'll keep tweaking that, and then we'll bring it to the commission for approval before we start using it. Next, other business, we have Mr. Metz.
Move to accept a check in the amount of $260.85 from the New Hampshire Association of Conservation Commissions as reimbursement for the BioBlitz Day.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jay and Cheryl. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. That goes to Eileen.
Yep.
Coming your way, Eileen.
Yep.
We like checks.
We like bigger checks, but that one will do.
That one will do. Any other business from the commissioners? Anyone need to talk about anything? Mr. Foote.
Sorry, I just wanted to backtrack on the open position. So for housekeeping issues, so Val would have to put a letter of resignation in. That would have to be forwarded. Then that goes in the consent with the council at the meeting. We'd have to accept the resignation before that position would then become.
She not CC you on that? I told her to.
I didn't have it, no.
Okay, I'll send, she told her to CC you on that one.
Yeah, because then I'll have to go to, so you send it to me and Sheila, mostly
Okay,
Sheila.
so
and
I'll forward it. She sent it to me, I'll forward it to you.
Yep, and then it will go on the consent agenda. The council will vote to accept the resignation, and then that will create the opening.
Okay, good.
So just an FYI, so.
So while we're doing that, you can do your end, and then it'll all work out. Any other business?
Yes.
Go ahead, Jay.
Hi. First of all, now that the Broadview Annex has a subcommittee, I'm requesting that we actually put it under the committee and liaison reports in the agenda, as I usually have been coming in under other business, but
okay.
I think it.
Can we do that, Beth?
Yes, I have several changes to the agenda subcommittee lines that
It'll
I'll
make
be
things
making.
run smoother.
Including
I
that.
just wanted to talk about the recent plans for the Broadview Annex. That is to mow. I came to Beth last week saying we need to really do the late summer, fall mowing that is allowed by the RSA 482A and EMV WT 100 900 rules. Which it does allow for mowing during dry conditions. Right now, since June, the land is totally inaccessible. You need a machete, and who knows how many elephants are in the grass there. They're so long. But so we haven't been out there to observe. So I had what Beth and I agreed to is I proposed on the map of the property, two paths that converge from the access off of Young Road. And that since Matt Tarr from UNH is coming out in late September, that he would be able to take a look at this map and just get his input on that. It's all good with the timing of when we want to mow anyhow.
So before we mow, we want to talk to Matt before we mow it, is that what you're saying?
Just
okay. Good idea.
And then I just wanted to point out that, when I started this project and now we're a subcommittee, I've already been doing a management plan, as Eileen had mentioned.
Nice.
It's something we should all be doing. So yeah, it was a good idea. All my thoughts needed to go someplace or they'd go into the atmosphere and disappear. So that's the latest for that. So that will provide for early spring access, and by then also we'll be able to plot out where the paths should be more permanently, and so that the critical time is sometime in the early summer. We need to get a mowing done. It may require less heavy equipment. The mower that does the paths on the Broadview area may be used for this annex area. It's a hope, but not fully understood yet. We'll see.
Jay, you're chairing that committee. Who's on that committee with you?
Well, we have Christopher.
Okay.
Yep.
And Eileen.
Got it. Thank you. Okay, any other business?
If I could request, if anyone has any trailhead photos, they could email them to me. I'd like to make sure we do some more posts. Gather some interest from the general population of what their favorite location is, just kind of engage more.
Love that.
If anyone has anything like that, it'd be great.
Did we ever post that training thing with DPW?
No.
Let's do that,
Yep.
Linda. That training story from DPW, when I heard it, I loved it. So I think get with Beth and talk about how that went down. And maybe we can even get some file photos.
You know, another suggestion I'd make is quite often
Eileen, 1 second.
NHACC does newsletters that involve what different commissions have done interacting, you know, within their towns with other committees and other departments. And I think that'd be a great story to send to Barbara Richter for Derry to get in one of those newsletters. So they're shared with the whole state and all the other towns in there.
Like, do you have a picture of that tree that was crossing the path?
I do.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So maybe the post can be...
I just got the before and after pictures.
Yeah. Oh, you have before and after?
I do, yeah. Well, I have
ideal.
before pictures because I had to take pictures to be like, oh, there's a tree in the trail.
Yeah, let's do that post that they took the tree down, used it as a training op for the town and all that stuff. I think that would be a cool post. And then Eileen's comment about, do we post on the BioBlitz?
Did we post on the BioBlitz? Like, we shared about the BioBlitz, yes, on Facebook, you mean, but you mean to NHACC?
No, to our.
Yes.
Yeah, we did, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, so let's do one on the tree thing.
Sure.
Thank you. Yeah, and then Eileen's suggestion is really good.
Yeah, because I think, you know, what I love about that newsletter, it quite often has stories that are shared for the purpose of other towns to be able to kind of grab that information and go with that kind of project in their town, you know? So it's sort of a replication kind of thing. You know, towns learn from each other that way, so.
Okay, if we are done, we are going to have we're going to be done by 9. We are going to have a non-public. It's going to be fairly brief, and Mr. Metz is going to take it away.
Move to go into non-public session per RSA 91A3, Section 2, for the purpose of land acquisition.
Second.
All right, so we have a first to go into non-public by Mr. Metz, a second by Cheryl. We need a roll call vote on this, starting to my right.
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes. We need a motion to invite, let's see, we have to invite Catherine, we have to invite Pam, we have to invite Charlie if he wants to stay, we have to invite Beth if she wants to stay. Do you want to stay?
Sure.
Okay, so I think you can do that all at once, right? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Move to invite all those members mentioned.
All right, so as a first, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Cheryl. Is that a roll call, Charlie?
Yeah.
All right, roll call again?
Yes.
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 Chair votes yes. Okay?
We're in non-public.
Good, we're in non-public. Let us know when we're ready, Owen.